Welcome to Sandlot The Crew, where Sandlot Radio Show meets Wrecking Yard Baseball and Softball. I'm your host, Will Kiger, a.k.a. Wrecking Yard Will, and we are live from the Wrecking Yard here in Torrance, California, beautiful South Bay. Right next to me, I got owner-operator, former Division I player and professional player, Mason Morioka, diehard Dodger fan. Next to him, we got Nick Green, who led Penn High School to its first ever CIF championship his first year at Penn. He's also one of our great coaches here, gives a lot of lessons. Big asset to us here. Next to him, we have Mr. Nate Torres, rising superstar on the diamond and in the coaching box. He's doing great things for us, heading our 9U team right now. Everybody loves Nate. We're very glad to have him. If you guys haven't seen our previous segments, go check that out. We just discussed Shohei Ohtani, where he might land his season and the rule changes. Right now, we are going to get into postseason awards, and we're going to be starting with the MVP in the NL. Mr. Ronald Acuna ran away with it. Unanimous decision. He hit .337 with 41 home runs, 106 RBIs, 73 stolen bases, led the league in hits, runs, on-base percentage, OPS, and total bases. And somehow Mr. Mason Morioka still feels he might not should have won the MVP.
There deserves to be a mic drop after that. No one should be after that.
Where's a bomb? I need a bomb sound effect.
There's no right there. Just
Me and Greener are Braves fans, admittedly, so there may be a slight bias. But if you're looking at the numbers,
no bias
all right,
in those numbers.
Let's just go.
I mean, look, Ronald Acuna had an outstanding season. Outstanding. But you look at the seasons that, you know, again, I'm biased. It's gotta be, you know, Dodger fan. You know, we had two guys at the top of the order score more runs than Acuna, hit more, I would say more doubles for sure.
Did not score more runs than Acuna. He led the league in runs.
All right, whatever.
The glazing from Will.
Fake news.
That ain't no glazing. It's the opposite of glazing.
No, I think Mookie and Freddie both had tremendous seasons. I do think they were MVP worthy seasons. Now, should Acuna have ran away with it unanimously? I don't think so. But the guy should have won the MVP. I will admit that.
All right.
But not running away with it. I don't think it should have been unanimous.
Y'all heard it here.
That's the best I've gotten out of him in 3 years, going on 4 of knowing this man.
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
The office talks are different.
I will.
These guys are going after it. Being a little more PC here.
I will accept that because this man will never give any credit to any Braves player. So the fact that I even got that, I'll accept it. As far as do I think he should have gotten unanimous compared to the other guys? I think that yes. Short answer is yes. I do. I do agree that Mookie and Freddie had outstanding seasons. I think that the last month and a half, that was where me and you were sitting there and going like, this is neck and neck, and we all had our kind of little bit of bias, but also like the numbers to back each of our arguments. You know, I think what really sealed it, and we both agreed, was, you know, Acuna swiping 70 bags with the new rule changes. Whether you liked
first player in Major League history to hit 40 home runs and steal 70 bags. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that right there, to me, once, even if he didn't get 70, I mean, if it was 68, I mean, once you start doing something that's never been done in the game, and you have the rest of the numbers to back it up, I mean, to me, it was a lock at that point. If you want to call it unanimous or whatever, I mean, to me, that's like saying, oh, you were a first ballot Hall of Famer. If I get on that second ballot, I'm Hall of Fame.
Right.
Like, I'm a Hall of Famer. It ain't going to matter to me if I'm first or second. I got into the door. So, but no, I thought this year was a really tight race. I'll say that.
Yep.
I was
It
sweating.
got a lot tighter at the end. Mookie had an incredible push the second half of the season.
For sure.
He wasn't even hitting 300 until the end of the season. He ended up at like 309 or 308.
Hit almost 400 in the month of, I think it was
he
August.
was on fire. The dude I think he hit 39 jacks? He was just shy of 40.
He hit 40, I believe.
Did he get 40?
40 line.
I'm not sure, but
his defense, though, is what scared me.
For Mookie to be 5'9", 180 pounds, and freaking hit 40 jacks is absolutely insane.
And have over 100 RBIs, too.
100 ribbies. I mean, to play right field, shortstop, second base, you could definitely make a valid argument for Mookie. I don't think He already has an MVP, and I don't think that will be his last. But Nate, how did you feel about this MVP situation?
Like you guys said, towards the end it got tight. Towards the end,
You better say the right thing.
it was kind of 50. You know what, Nick? I do agree with you. I think I don't know about unanimous. I think there should have been a little thought because it was getting close. Mookie Betts was tearing it up the last 2 months of the year. As much as I hate the Dodgers, he was.
Yep.
But 70 stolen bases. When have you heard of someone hitting or stealing 70 bases and hitting, 44 home runs, 43 home runs?
41 home runs, 73 stolen bags, hit 337. He had the second highest batting average in Major League Baseball while hitting 41 jacks, stealing 73 bags, led the league in hits, runs, on base, OPS, and total bases. So when you're doing that, you can justify the unanimous, and the guys who voted obviously didn't feel that Mookie or Freddie had that strong of a case. I think Freddie, the batting average is always great. Freddie Freeman is just that dude. Yeah. Like, I love Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
Dependable as it gets. Consistent. He's gonna hit 300 plus. He's gonna get you 100 ribbies. He didn't he break the doubles record this year?
Close.
He was very close to breaking the doubles record. He plays the game the right way, on and off the field. A great guy. Mookie as well. Mookie's a tremendous person on and off the field. I'm a Nashville guy. So is Mookie. I was actually lucky enough to play against him a little bit growing up, and so I'm a huge Mookie fan. But I have to admit that Acuna, he did the damn thing. And honestly, when I went to the Dodgers-Braves series here in L.A., and it was incredible watching all three of those guys kind of battle back and forth. Like, you could tell they all were, like, trying to make an MVP statement. And honestly, Acuna did. Yeah. In that series, he went freaking crazy, man. It was insane to watch. So Acuna is a very special player. He's very, very special. As an absolute rocket in right field as well.
Well, to come back from that injury that was devastating, and for him to come back and have like this type of a year.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like,
it's the second year after.
Yeah. I mean, first year back,
he was still a little iffy, and now you're seeing Acuna back in full form. Yeah.
No, I absolutely. I mean, I think that he did all the things that we talk about. All the stats that you read off. I mean, if you're getting hits and you're leading the league in the hits, you're doing your job. If you're getting on base and your base percentage is higher than everybody, you're doing your job, especially in this analytic world. If you're hitting 40-plus jacks and giving the power, you're doing what we're asking. Like, he led all the things that we... he checked all the boxes. Yep. So to me, I can understand if, like, the unanimous vote. I do understand, though, that if I ever were a Dodger fan, oh God forbid, I would feel like Freddie and Mookie were definitely in that mix and should have deserved maybe a little bit more attention.
Definitely worthy. Let's move on to the AL. You had Mr. Shohei Ohtani also winning the MVP unanimously. He led Major League Baseball in slugging, OPS, weighted runs created, 44 home runs in only 135 games. So he missed basically the last 2 months of the season. He probably would have had 50 home runs plus. As a pitcher,
how do you know?
Recorded a 184 opponent's batting average, 3.14 ERA, and 167 strikeouts in 132 innings. What he brings on both sides of the ball it's just phenomenal. Can't really be replicated.
What was his average?
304, I think.
Yeah, he hit right over 300 as well.
And who are the people that are in that competing against him? Wasn't
Kiger was kind of in there? Gosh, who else was in there?
So here's my thought. Here's my thought on Ohtani. Do I think he should have unanimously won the MVP? No. I know we talked about this a little bit in a previous segment, but no, I don't. Because here's my other argument is, again, this is something that not everyone is going to see, but the guy abandoned his team after he got hurt. Just straight up cleaned out his locker, left the team, knowing that he was going to end up getting Tommy John surgery. To me, that's messed up.
Soft.
Absolutely. Like, to be the most valuable player, don't you have to be part of that clubhouse? And I think yes, but this guy decided I'm Shohei Ohtani. I am the big freaking schlong hanging between everyone's legs. And now this fool is gonna get a contract that is absolutely unheard of,
record breaking
this upcoming year. But then again, from a business standpoint, he's going to bring ticket sales. He's going to have endorsement deals. He's going to have all of this stuff. But dude, as a player, as a former player, I would not want that in my clubhouse. You know, granted, the Angels were irrelevant this year, but if he did that to, let's say, the Dodgers, let's say, you know, a team that was in the playoff race, and he ditches them like that, oh man, I think that sends a big rift through the entire clubhouse, and, you know, could potentially destroy a team.
Yeah.
A team that was already fucking destroyed, let's be honest. But Greener, how do you feel about it?
Who abandoned who, though? I mean, you bring in, you have Mike Trout and you have Shohei Ohtani, two of the, like, what we think as the two biggest stars in baseball. I mean, the two best players, arguably. And what do you have to show for it?
Nothing.
You haven't made a playoff push.
Nope.
You haven't had a season. I don't think of 90 win, like anywhere close to like really above the Mendoza line. I say like 500. I mean, I'm sure they've finished a little bit above, but like you have nothing to show from it. So as an ownership group, like every year, I'm sure that both Trout and Ohtani are going like, hey, what are we doing? Like what moves are we making so that way we can be competitive, because they should be. And I mean, like I took my son to an Angel game, and you know, it's, I mean, a great venue. You know, I was surprised by what the Angels have, being in a place that is a great area, affluent, good stadium, and
they have some history too. They have won a World Series.
Two of the biggest stars, and I mean, the product they put out on the field, I mean, it was like,
awful. It's atrocious.
I mean, I just sit there going like, we live in California. This isn't, you know, this isn't Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, it shouldn't be hard to get guys to the Angels.
No.
But they tried to make those moves near the deadline that really came back to bite them in the ass. It just thinking they were a playoff team when they weren't, and that just was awful.
That goes back
They've
to
been
bad planning.
mismanaged. The front office is dog shit over there.
Yeah.
Nate, how did you feel about Shohei winning MVP unanimously?
Going back to what Mason said, like abandoning the team like that,
Yep.
like you can't. Yeah, I get it. You're hurt, but you can't go in the dugout that night and cheer on your guys playing. Like as a teammate, you're an eye guy. Like no matter what the I mean, yeah, if you tore your knee, something you can't stand. He hurt his elbow, you know, and I'm sure he wasn't having Tommy John that next day.
Yeah.
He still had a few, and he can't sit there and cheer on his guys for the week. Yeah, the Angels are irrelevant. The Angels weren't good, but being a big guy, having those big nuts in the clubhouse, like you said, like, and you can't go out there and do that. Like to these young guys on the Angels, like you see the best player in the major leagues is in your clubhouse on your team, and he doesn't want to go cheer you guys on.
What message does that send?
Yeah, that's a
I
big
agree.
fuck you.
I would definitely agree that that's not a cool move by any means. You should definitely be there for your teammates, right or wrong, whether you guys are playoff potential or not. I'm not a fan of that move. But to be fair, we also really don't know any of the behind the scenes of what's going on in that Angels organization, how the front office is treating him, how the managers are treating. So there's a lot we really don't know. Shohei gave his heart and soul, his body, blood, sweat, and tears to that team. They've done nothing to help the man. And honestly, you know, he probably should have been a little reserved, a little more less innings, and maybe that elbow doesn't tear. You know, this guy's putting his body through hell for a team that's doing absolutely nothing. So like I said, we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, but I do think not showing up for your teammates isn't cool. At the same time, the MVP award is not based on cheerleading. It is based on your on-the-field play, and his on-the-field numbers were absolutely phenomenal. Not to mention when you look at the definition of most value, how can a guy who's a top 10 bat and a very good starting pitcher not have the most value? He does, and that's why he's won it unanimously, and is going to continue to if he keeps doing what he's doing. Also, Marcus Semien and Corey Seager were the other two finalists in the MVP. Semien had a great year. Shout out to him. Corey Seager just missed a lot of games.
Yeah, hurt. He was hurt at the beginning of the year.
He won the World Series and that MVP, so I think he's okay. I don't think he's too worried about it. I'm pretty sure Shohei would trade spots with him any day of the week.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, I don't want to win the MVP of the ML. I want to win the MVP of the World Series because Acuna didn't do shit. Ohtani was hurt, didn't do anything, did not. If your team, there should be a new rule. If your team doesn't make the playoffs, you cannot win the MVP.
No, that's crazy talk.
No.
But I mean, I get your point. But baseball is just, if it was NBA, maybe, because that's 5 people on the floor. But baseball, there's just too many players for one to be able to like really put a team on his back. Let's move on though. Cy Young, Blake Snell won in the NL, had an absolute phenomenal year. I think he was definitely worthy of the Cy Young. The other finalists were Zach Gallen, Logan Webb of the Giants. Don't necessarily have a problem with either of them, but this is what's got me pissed off, and I know it's got Green pissed off as well.
The
You
next
already
two words
know- you
out of your
know-
mouth should start with both S's.
and S. Mr. Spencer Strider, not even a freaking candidate? Are you kidding me?
Spencer should
Are
say.
you kidding me? Bush League.
At least an honorable mention.
Bro, I'm about to have to hit this censor button over here because it's going to get wild. This man, 20 wins, sets the major league history record for most strikeouts with a 3.8 ERA. Okay, maybe not 2 point something, still not a bad ERA. The whip is at 1.09, 20 wins, the most strikeouts ever, and he's not even a finalist. That really pisses me off. I don't know how you can even justify that.
I can.
Let's hear it.
I can. The strikeouts are huge. Hey, don't get me wrong. The strikeouts are great. But with that ERA, 3.8?
Yep.
Okay, 3.8 ERA on a team that led the major leagues in home runs, who also had the best record in the NL, right? And you're pitching with that kind of offense behind you.
Offense helps you win.
100%.
Yeah.
He doesn't, with that 3.8 ERA, I don't think he wins 20 games.
Haters.
No, not haters. Are you kidding me?
But for a team like the Giants with not the firepower as the Braves,
If you're about to say
Logan
anything for
Webb.
Webb right now,
you put Spencer Strider
Okay.
on the Giants.
Okay, but
he has that amount of strikeouts, but he probably has half the wins. He probably has 10 wins.
yeah.
Logan Webb, though, was a finalist with a 3.2. So Spencer Strider's 0.6 ERA worse. 0.6 worse.
On average.
0.6.
That's called earn run average.
I don't care. He's giving up 0.6. That's not even a whole run. He's giving up 0.6 less runs with the most strikeouts, 20 wins, going deep into a lot of games. It's ridiculous.
With the help of
I'm
his
over
offense.
it.
to go back to the original comment, though, of the Cy Young and with Blake Snell, I've been a fan of Blake Snell ever since he shut the door on your Dodgers. And if you
And
say
what happened?
the manager for Tampa Bay decided to listen to a
Data.
whole bunch of, all right, he can't go past 7. Okay. Did you see the look that Mookie and everybody else had on their faces? Like,
This is where analytics needs to die. When it
Blake-
comes to the playoffs and the World Series or a guy throwing a no-hitter or perfect game, use your freaking common sense, people. Holy shit. How are you going to pull a guy throwing a perfect game or a no-hitter or giving up
I
0
think he
runs?
gave up like 2 hits
Yeah.
before him getting pulled back.
Yeah,
in.
dominant performance. No one was touching him.
Blake Snell's a dog.
It's ridiculous.
He definitely was well deserving of it this year. I think that the numbers showcase that. I'm really looking forward to seeing where he ends up going. That's another guy that, I know me and Mason have talked, like, shoot, if Blake Snell went to Baltimore, gave him a legit number 1 with John Means. I mean, I think that's to me, Baltimore is a piece away from really making that push. This year I know is disappointing, which I know that's something that we've talked about, is going to a segment of playoff formatting.
And I think it's just youth.
Yeah.
Right now the Orioles are young. They're very talented. You give these guys a couple more years, they're going to be extremely relevant, in the next 2-3 years. I think, like you said, Nick, I think if they go get a big piece this offseason.
Yeah, hungry. Shoot, you come that close. I mean, you get into playoffs. You got a bunch of young guys that are like, all right, it's tangible, it's there. Now let's just double down on the hard work and the grit and the grind, and let's get after it next year. And if they can add a piece or maybe 2 that are maybe a little bit more veterans, get a number 1 arm, that could be a very scary ordeal.
Let's move on to the AL Cy Young. Garrett Cole, Finally won his first ever Cy Young. He's been a dominant pitcher for a long time.
Here comes the glazing.
I'm not a Garrett Cole or Yankees fan. I'm just stating.
No.
This guy. Okay.
That guy.
I was like, what are you talking about? If anything, I mean, congratulations to Garrett Cole. I think the numbers were worthy for sure. The pitch clock, like we said in the earlier segment, I think helped him out a lot, getting out of his dome and just pitching. But man, I got to give a shout out to Sonny Gray. Phenomenal season, phenomenal numbers, second place in the Cy Young. I would love to see him win a Cy Young. I'd love to see him win a World Series. And he's just signed a 3-year, $75 million deal with the Cardinals.
The Cards.
So I definitely got to give a shout out to Sonny Gray. Let's try to keep these takes relatively short because I still want to get through a few more. What do we got?
Well, to introduce this segment, really, it's, hey, Mason Morioka, who is one of the top pitchers that you ever faced in your career? I wonder who.
Garrett Cole.
Oh,
Faced him.
and let the glazing begin.
I faced him a couple of times. Faced him in high school in his freshman year. We played Olu in the first round of the playoffs, and he came in late in that game. Got to face him a couple more times in college. We came down here against UCLA, and we faced Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer, and Adam Plutko. All three who are present big leaguers. And they were nasty. They shut us out for 27 innings at the beginning of that year. But, fast forward to, when it was our second time ever, USF's second time ever in school history making a regional. We come down here Friday night under the lights at UCLA, and we get to face Garrett Cole. We change our approach against him. I think that night we gave him a career high in hits against, but we also gave him a career high in strikeouts. We ended up scratching out, I think, 3 runs across, I think he threw 6 or 7 innings. And it was enough. Our guy, Kyle Zimmer, who's in the bigs right now in the Royals bullpen, we felt just outdueled him that night. And Kyle Zimmer really put his name on the map that night. And, kudos to him. And, best of luck to you, Zim. Hope you're watching this. He did it that night.
So what you're saying is that Garrett Cole is a bum.
No. Guy, that guy's nasty. That guy's absolutely nasty. He was throwing 100 that night, and the slider was coming in at 88, 90 miles an hour. So we just had to be aggressive against him.
What is that like now, having that experience and now sitting there and going, Garrett Cole just won the Cy Young Award? I mean, that's something that's got to be feeling pretty cool for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dude, absolutely. I mean, I think I have 1 hit off of him. The other 3 at bats, I think I all K'd.
Hey, you got a hit off a Cy Young winner, a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's something to be proud of. Definitely something you can tell your grandparents. Trevor Bauer is actually not currently a major league player, but he very well will be making a return after these texts leaked with that whole psycho chick. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time.
That's a good topic.
That is a great topic. Yeah, let's. So I'm just gonna run through the Golden Gloves and Silver Sluggers real quick, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So in the American League, actually, hold on. Rookie of the Year, you had Gunnar Henderson in the AL, Corbin Carroll in the NL. I don't think anybody would debate either of those. Both of those guys are phenomenal players, studs. Doing big things really quick. So Gold Gloves AL, you got Jonah Heim at catcher, Nathaniel Lowe first base, Andre Jimenez at second, Matt Chapman at third, who is also a free agent this year, Anthony Volpe shortstop, Stephen Kwan left field, Kevin Kiermaier center field,
Boo.
Adolis Garcia, wow, okay, in right field, Jose Brios and Mauricio Dubon in utility. Brios was at pitcher. In the National League, you got Moreno.
Yeah.
Is it Gabriel?
That's how you say it, yeah.
Okay. That kind of freaked me out for a second. Christian Walker at first, Nico Horner at second, Key Brian Hayes at third, Dansby Swanson, the Vanderbilt kid, shortstop, Ian Happ left field, Brenton Doyle, center field. This one really impressed me, actually. Fernando Tatis, right field, first ever year in the outfield, goes out there, wins a Gold Glove, beating out Mookie Betts, who's a ridiculous right fielder who's got like 8 Golden Gloves. That was very impressive to me.
It's because the guy sucks at short.
Yeah. Very bad.
He's damn good at right field, apparently, though. But so Zach Wheeler at pitcher, and then Hassan Kim, utility. Silver Sluggers in the AL, we got Mr. Adley Rutschman at catcher, Yandy Diaz first, Marcus Semien second, Rafael Devers third, Corey Seager short, Luis Robert Jr., outfield, whichever position he is, I think left.
Center.
No, Julio's center, right? Julio got it center. Kyle Tucker, I think, right. Shohei, DH. Gunnar Henderson, utility. And then we have William Contreras at catcher. Matt Olson first. Luis Arias second. Austin Riley third. Francisco Lindor at short.
Wait, that was Silver Sluggers? Okay.
No, this is Silver Sluggers. Acuna and right. Or I'm sorry. Yeah.
Outfield. Just outfield.
Just outfield. Okay, that's how they're doing it.
Yeah.
Acuna outfield, Mookie outfield, Juan Soto outfield, Bryce Harper DH, and then Cody Bellinger in the utility spot. Relievers of the year, Felix Bautista on the Orioles. Incredible stuff. 1.48 ERA. Absolute dog. Devin Williams on the Brewers as well. 1.53 ERA, 36 saves. Great stuff out of him. And then the players have spoken, and they have rewarded Brave superstar Ronald Acuna Jr. with Player of the Year honors. This was voted on by the players. So another mic drop, bomb going off. And yeah, that's going to wrap this segment, guys. Appreciate you guys watching Sandlot and the Crew, where Sandlot Radio Show meets Wrecking Yard Baseball and Softball. I'm your host, Will Kiger. Mason Morioka, owner-operator. Nick Green, CIF Champion. Nate Torres, 9U head, young superstar on the rise. We're going to come back with another segment. In this segment, we're going to be covering the rest of the free agents going on. You guys stay tuned.